مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم.
May a sense of universal peace be upon you, around you, and may that peace, stillness, wholeness, and purposefulness emanate from within you. Much welcome. Let's take some of the curtains of mystery down off the Arabic language. It is also a wonderful language that happens to be the way God chose to communicate with the world. Come with me. Let's look at the letters possibly in a way you haven't looked at them before. First off, I'm going to put about 4 or 5 shapes out onto the page, onto the canvas. And I want you to imagine, just like when you were a child, your parents didn't say H-O-T because we don't speak N-I-N-L-E-T-T-E-R-S. We don't speak in letters. We speak in the sounds produced by the letters. So what people try to do when learning the Arabic language is they go through this A-L-I-F transliteration. Well, how are you going to learn another language through a language that doesn't have the same sounds? So today, let's look at 5 letters together. I want you to take an eraser and just erase that chalkboard in your head. Whatever you think you know, let's start from the beginning. So the first letter or shape that we're going to look at is a straight line. Now I want you to imagine that straight line, what grows on a tree? And that's the first thing I want you to think about. With what grows on that tree? A leaf does, and you got it. So the first sound that you're going to tell me is a leaf. It's the first thing. We're going to keep working, keep thinking about it. So the first letter is a stick, and yes, I'll say it several times, a leaf. Now next, I want you to think about, there are going to be 3 boat letters, 3 boats, and each boat, here's our first boat. The first boat has one boy at the bottom. So I want you to pick any one word, boy, boat, and or bottom. And once you make a commitment to this, a leaf grows on a tree, and there's a boy at the bottom of the boat. Now, let's keep moving. So the next letter that we're looking at together is the same boat. It's the same boat, big open boat, but this time there are two boys. There are 2 boys in the boat. And yeah, you have to play with the sound a little bit, but the boat tells you, okay, I know what this is. Tap the back of your top 2 teeth. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Give it a little bit of time. It feels like a new sound. Da da. 2. A leaf, boy, 2. And now let's move to our next letter. It's right here, and if you want to, it's the same exact shape. So be confident. Make your boat again. Now this boat has 1, 2, 3. Just like you heard on Sesame Street when you were little. 1, 2, and bring your tongue out to the edge of the top teeth and say 3. See, it's simple. It's really simple. So I want you to recognize a leaf grows on a tree. Boy, 2, 3. Simple. I want you to think of it in the simplest way. Simple. And you're going to bring your tongue out to the edge of the top teeth, and you'll have a lisp on it. So that's a leaf, boy, 2, 3. Alif, ba, ta, sa. And I think you're starting to get the point. The next 3 letters are going to be the same shape. Just like you had 3 boats, we're now going to have 3 jugs, 3 pitchers. So the first jug is a straight line and a C. A straight line and a C. That jug is full. Can you say it with me? Say jug, jug. You got it. And that jug is the first sound. There's going to be 3 jugs. So a leaf, boy, 2, 3, jug. Now we'll add in the last 2, but you're starting to get it. Nothing's holding you back from creating these sounds. By the way, you could say it today, Jannah, which is the Arabic word for garden, or used in the Quran, it means paradise. Let's figure out our next 2 jugs. Straight line and a C. That's right, straight line and the letter C. This jug is, and you got it, it's empty. It's hollow. It's hollow. Like it's a little bit spicy, if you want to call it. In the middle, it's hollow. So the first jug, the second one is hollow. And the third jug is the same shape, straight line and a C, but it has a scratch on the top. Can you say scratch? Scratch. Yeah, it's like scratching your throat lightly. Kha. You don't need to your mouth. Just get to the back of your throat and think of the word scratch. Kha. And there you have it. Alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha. A, ba, ta, tha, ja, ha, kha. And if you can notice at the end, kha is the only one that sounds awesome. All the other sounds sound happy. So the A in Arabic can either be awesome, kha, or the A in happy, ba, ta, tha, ja, ha. We're going to take the next set of letters. Let's work together right now to look at the shape of the letter after the letter a, ba, ta, tha, ja, ha, kha. Right after kha, we're going to get a letter that looks like an open mouth. It almost looks like Pac-Man's mouth.
Yeah,
So the letter
mouth.
is the letter da, da, da. Remember when Pac-Man used to eat the little dots? And as he ate the dots, you would hear him go da, 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 da.
Yes.
This is the letter da.
Nice.
The letter da looks like a greater than sign, possibly, but it's not a D as in David. It's da, da. It's a tongue touching the top two teeth, just like the two boys in the boat. Da, right at that spot, da, da. You got it. Now, looking like the same exact letter, it looks like at the open mouth of the da, but it has a dot on the top. It isn't pronounced in the English language, but just like thimple, this has a zipper. This has a zip. Tongue at the edge of the top teeth. That's after da comes the zip sound. So it looks like a little zipper. It's not the Z in Arabic, but it's the little zip that a zipper makes when it closes. This lives at the same point or the same place as thimble. Put your tongue there and say that. Da, da. The next letter you'll enjoy. It looks like a comma in English. It looks like a comma in the English language. And here it is. It is just what I call a lion's tail. And if you look at a lion's tail and you pull on his tail, what is he going to say? With your jaw, raw, raw. So I want you to remember, raw, with your jaw. Say it, raw. And that's the comma or the lion's tail. If you pull on a lion's tail, what will he say? Raw. Fantastic. Da, that, raw. Now next, the raw with a dot on it. Just as we looked at da, and then we put a dot on it, it became a tha. Could you guess if I put a dot on this right now? If I put a dot on the letter raw, and I put a single dot here, top and bottom teeth together, think of the word buzz. It's za, za. Think of the word buzz. Remember, we're not trying to write down transliteration. I hope you're not doing that at home. So I had da, tha, raw, and the letter za, za. So those four letters, I don't want to call them simple, but da, tha, raw, za, that you know. Now, let's up the ante together. After I have alif, boy, 2, 3, jug, hollow, scratch. A, ba, ta, tha, ja, ha, kha. Then I'll have the letter da, zipper, that. Lion says raw. A bumblebee says za. Then I want you to look into the binoculars. I want you to look inside the binoculars and think about this. If I look into the binoculars, I have seen, and the name of this letter is sa. Sa. So if I have seen this letter, and I hope that works for you, I'll write the word seen, not as a transliteration, but actually I have seen this letter. Take this as your cue. If you have seen this letter,
right?
if you've seen this letter, and it has three dots, three boys at the top, what do you usually have to tell? Those kids came out of the boat screaming and yelling, alif, boy, 2, 3. What sound do you need to, what do you need to tell those young men? Sha. The name of this letter, or the sound that it makes, sha. abata, tha, jaha, kha, da, ra, za, sa, sin, sa, and with the 3 dots, a sa with 3 dots is sha. So far, have you seen any letters that throw you off? And if I could ask you, it's a bit of a trick question here or an advanced question. Do you think da is a happy sound or an awesome sound? Da.
Awesome.
Happy or awesome? It's happy. Da. Do you think it's happy or awesome? You can answer that on your own. Because you're like, wait a minute. The letter that is also happy. But when I said raw with your jaw, raw sounds awesome, right? And then when I said za, did it sound happy or awesome? Za. Okay, you got it. Sounds happy. Now if I say sa, I've seen, sa, definitely happy. And last but not least, in this line, sha, the word shaitan, meaning the devil, or shams, meaning the sun. Sha, it's a happy letter. Written with just the goldfish. So if you can make this single shape, this goldfish shape will be able to give you, on the back of the car, you see it sometimes from Psalms, like it says Jesus inside. If you can make a fish that looks like that, and God's peace and blessings be upon him. If you see that shape, you'll be able to add a C at the bottom and make a letter. Put a line at the top and make something else. So that single shape, the little fish, should help you. So now that I've added the C at the back, this is the letter. I want you to say nails, hammer, and a slaw. Here it is. This is your handle. I want you to say nails, hammer, and a slaw. Nails, hammer, and a slaw. It's like filling a pump. Nails, hammers, and a slaw. You got it. The air will fill. It's definitely got that awesome sound in it. Air filling, awesome sound. Go ahead and press your tongue to the bottom teeth. Slaw. You got it. Not in the English language. Maybe if you were, maybe in some way you could find a way to say slaw, like see slaw. But the next letter, definitely not in any language other than the Arabic language. So this is a unique sound. Before you say, yo, that's crazy confusing, stop and say, it's a new sound. Think about it right off the bat. If I said confusing or new, which one would you want? So let's start at the top. It's a brand new letter. I start with my goldfish. I add the letter C. There it is. And then I put in a dot. The first thing for me to understand, this letter is closer to the way a frog makes a sound. Let me explain. If you put your tongue out flat, you're trying to hear the sound, not make it. Hear it, not make it. Tongue is flat. I'm not worried about the front of my tongue, not moving it. I'm going to use the sides of my tongue, the thicker part over here. I'm going to use the sides of my tongue and touch the molars, the big teeth. When a frog ribbits, does he say ribbit? Ribbit. No, he puffs up the sides of his cheek. That's my tongue. And it's a little weird, but it's a sound that's unique to the Arabic language, i.e. you'd be like, wow, God picked a language that had its own flavor, its own sound. No other language has the sound of law. So once you can recognize two things, it's not a D and it's not a Z. It's right there on the side of your tongue. And I know you're screaming at the screen, boy, you lured us into 3 videos and now he's going to give us this. Friend, I told you, it's not confusing, it's new. If it's a new sound, let your ear vibrate just for a few more seconds. Then your ear will say, okay, I kind of got the vibration. Just give me a little bit more time. And if you're on headphones, rewind me. Listen to me again. It's the power of the internet. And just let your ear say, I'm almost there. Don't say you don't get it. Keep giving your ear the chance. The next letter, same fish start out. We start out with our fish and then we put a straight line. When you pull the lamb chop out of the freezer, what do you have to let it do? If it's frozen, you have to let it thaw. I know the word is thaw. Play with me here like Thimple. So we said thaw, 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 thaw. Press the top two teeth, not touch them. Da. I want you to press. If it's frozen, what do you have to let it do? Thaw, 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 thaw. Thaw, 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 thaw. And do you think this one's awesome or happy? Do you think this one's awesome or happy? You got it. This is thaw, 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 thaw. There's your awesome sound. So nails, hammer, and a saw. A frog on a lily pad. Law, law, law. Don't forget that frog. It's got its wart on its head. Law. Oh, it's crown. Sorry. Let's make it a crown of the frog. Law, law. Lamb chop has to come out of the freezer. It has to thaw, 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 thaw. Thaw, 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 thaw. And the shame shape as that one is the same shape is the fish again. Lamb chop comes out, and this one's got a dot on the top. I like to look at this as a blender, maybe 1,000cc motorcycle. Go ahead, but bring your tongue out to the edge of the top teeth and give it some gas. Not that much, but a lot of times I have to exaggerate that much because most of you are driving like some 100cc. I want you to give me the awesome. Put that Hayabusa motor in there, right? And just go ahead and give me some gas. So the awesome sound is on the inside. The name of the letter is the. Not a Z, definitely, right? But it's got a vibration similar to the after the. There's that zipper, and the. Very close to each other. One is happy, this one's awesome. What do we have so far? Nails, hammer, and a saw. The frog on the lily pad. Blah. And then you have, hopefully you can see the letters as we come by. Lamb chop had to come out of the freezer. It had to thaw. And here we have the button on the blender, or here's your clutch. However you want to do it. Let go of that clutch. Give me some gas on the left. Law. Awesome for you. I know that you're set up. A, ba, da, tha, ja, ha, ha. Da da da, za, ra, za, sa, sha, saw, blah, and I'll see you on till the next time. The letter is pronounced at the end. Law. I'm gonna tell you C1, C2. They're backward C's. I get it. Don't worry. So as I write the C's, I ask myself, do I want to lift or do I want to push? Do I want to lift the sound or do I want to push the sound? And that is, my friends, you want to lift. So try with me and say it. Lift, don't push. Say, lift, don't push. I'm lifting up the plank. Second part of my throat. I'm here in the second part of my throat, lifting up the sound. You hear the push? Not at all. So everyone at home's like, oh, them Arabs can't make that sound. Them Arabs don't make that sound. So let's try it. Get underneath the sound and lift. I do believe there's a part of you that doesn't want to. It's not a hard sound. It's just outside of your comfort zone and makes you then become vulnerable. And that's what this is about. Learning other sounds and getting out of your comfort zone to show the people around you, I'm willing to learn too. I'm willing to see my faults. So go ahead. Come on with me. Lift. Come on, get a smile on your face because you're like, I can't do it. Just lift it up. Say, apples. There's your lifted sound. Now I want you to say, perfect. Nothing to it, right? Alif, ba, da, tha, ja, ha, kha, da, zipper, a lion says ra, za, sa, sha, saw, lily pad, frog, law, Top teeth, ta 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 ta. Edge of the teeth, voo 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 va. And now you have the letter ah. Ah. Make sure you smile and not a trick question, but is ah an awesome sound? Nope. It's not aw. It's definitely a happy sound. And there he is. You got it. Let's move. So now we have ah. We're going to take those two C's once again. C1, C2. And put a dot on the top. Can you say gargle? Gargle. Oh. Third part of your throat right there where your doctor would check your tonsils. Gargle. Oh. If you're telling me I can't make this sound, then you need to go brush your teeth. You know, we got to figure out what's going on in your mouth. Just gargle. Gargle, and yes, this one's awesome. Gargle. Gar. Now say ra. It's right underneath. Gargle. Ra. So we have slaw, the lily pad, law, lamb chop has to thaw, the motorcycle says va, I lift the sound, say ah, I gargle and say ra. Now I'm going to give you the next two. They look so similar. I want you to look at the donut with one dot and the donut with two. The donut with one dot, the donut with two. Can you say 5 fingers? Fa. 5 fingers. Fa 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 fa. So it's one dot, 5 fingers, fa. Now I use my 5 fingers to cover my cough. Cough. You get it? I know I'm not saying cough, but just bring it back just a little bit, like the actual sound. Bring it back behind your uvula, behind the tonsils. Too many big words. In the back of your throat, there's a cave. In that cave lives the sound cough, cough. If a crow had a cough, he'd be like cough, cough, cough. I want you to go ahead and cough, cough, fa, cough, cough. So fa, cough, fa, cough. And the letter that sounds so similar right here in the middle, it's a baby cow. And when a cow has a baby, what is it called? Yep, that's the name of the letter, calf. Fa, qaw, 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 qaw. Ka, 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 ka. Fa, qaw, ka. Here's the baby cow, it's even in the mom's tummy, calf. Here's my cough, 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 cough. We'll get a better pronunciation, but it's great now. 5 fingers. What'd they say to the face? Chappelle's? No, Chappelle. Okay. 5. They said salap, fa, qaw, and calf. Let's go back up. We have alif, ba, ta, tha, ja, 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 ha, kha, da, 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 za, 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 ra, za, sa, sha, saw, law, ta, vu, vu, va, no pressure, gargle the ra. 5 fingers, use your 5 fingers to cover your cough, 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 cough. It's in the mouth, not in the throat. And then go ahead and tell me what a baby cow is. Calf, you got it. We're gonna end off here. I feel like you can do one more with me. Because if I asked you, Mary had a little, you got it. That's her staff. That's her little cane. Mary had a little lamb. Lamb. That's how it's pronounced. Lamb. You know you're saying it right when your tongue doesn't bunch up and you're able to say la, 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 bismillah. It's not la. It's not flat. It's not Laura. It's la, la. It's definitely a happy letter. It also makes a wonderful word in the Arabic language, Allah. A name that God chose to call himself and something we refer to him as, Allah. Alif, you know it now. Alif, alif, lam, lam, ha. But this lam that we're talking about, it's really powerful in the word Allah. It has a law, L-A-W in it. Allah, Allah. So we had, what do we have? A, ra, fa, qaf, kaf, lam. And then in our next video, we'll knock out the rest of the letters. A, ba, ta, tha, ja, ha, kha, da, za, wa, za, sa, sha, sa, sa, wa, ta, va, a, ra, gargle, ra, fa, pa, ka, la. Now we're going to start today after Mary had a little lamb, la, 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 la. We're going to talk about me. It's all about me. The name of the letter is meme. Me. It's about me. And it's pronounced ma. Let your lips touch together. Hum a little bit. Ma. Millisecond of ma. You got it. Ma. Lam, meme. And next to the letter meme is a simple letter. I'll write it separately. It looks like a really expensive watch with only one dot. So what time is it on this clock? What time is it here? It's an expensive watch. It's noon, right? The name of this letter, noon. Can you say na? The name of the letter is noon. The sound that it makes, na. So I have a, ra, fa, qa, ka, la, ma. And now you have na. So can you make that connection? La, ma, na. It's not L-M-N, but it's close to the sounds of saying la, ma, na in a happy A. La, ma, na. You got it. The next letter, it's that simple. It's so simple, you're going to look at it and say, wow. That's the name of this letter. Wow. I want you to think of the word wet. It's not so much wow. It's wet. Wow. You got it. So wala, awwala, wa. It's the lips touching each other, but you're not pursing your lips. You're using the wet part of your lips that you don't put chapstick on. I don't even know that you put chapstick on. So let's keep going. So I have a, ba, ta, tha, ja, ha, kha, da, tha, ra, za, sa, sha, sa, la, ta, 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 va, a, ra, fa, qa, ka, la, ma, na, wet. Wow. It's going to be like your basketball shot. Wet. Here we go. Unnecessary. Wow, meme. We have noon, meme, wow. The next letter, it's going to look different. Arabic, like I said, it's written in script. So go ahead and write it out for me. That's the letter ha. That is the letter ha. It will, I just want you to think, when something looks different, don't laugh at it. The letter ha, not the spicy one, flat, almost dry. Ha. Yes, it is dry. Ha. It will be written differently. So we now have la, ma, na, wa, ha. Now you can say, and living in the same spot as ha. I've already told you it's going to look different. We'll get there together. But right now you know that thing that you don't know how to write, the squiggly line one, it is ha. And in the same spot, I hope you can see and recognize the letter Hamza. This is the letter Hamza. It makes the same sound as an alif. So Hamza, the C with a mullet, it's a professional in the front and party in the back. So it's got a little tail in the back. Hamza makes the same sound as alif, a. I haven't said anything a little confusing yet. So the fact that alif, a, and the letter Hamza, its name is Hamza, they make the same sound, a. Why do I put these two letters together? Ha. First part of the throat, and a, first part of the throat. Now, someone comes to you and says, do you know your Arabic letters? You know that Arabic letters? I want you to say, yeah. From the middle of your mouth, I want you to say, yeah. And I'm going to add these two lines here because I want it to come from the middle of your mouth, not yay. Yeah. Strengthen your jaw. In the middle of your mouth, say yippee, yeah, with some emphasis, not yeah, yippee. We've all seen that. Come on, millennials, get out of your comfort zone. Say yeah. And if someone asks you, do you know the Arabic letters? Stop, pause, look away, and say yeah. Alif, ba, ta, tha, ja, ha, kha, da, tha, ra, za, sa, sha, sa. ضا طا ظا ع غا فا قا كا لا ما na ha wa ya. I got lost there at the end. Next time your friend says, do you speak Arabic? You need to do this for me. I need you to go to them and say ba ta sa ja ha and just keep saying letters. They'll be like, whoa. You got it, friends. If you can understand these letters, at the end we tapered off somewhere. It's wow, meme, noon, ha, hamza, and yeah. I went off there. this is your chance. I hope you enjoyed this video series. The objective is number 1, so you can feel a lot smarter about yourself, and number 2, next time you hear someone screaming out, Arabic, the language, so dangerous, you'll be like, no, that sound just comes from the middle of your mouth. And next time you hear Allahu Akbar, you'll hear the law in the word Allah, the click in the baby calf, and you'll hear the boy at the bottom of the boat say Rrr to the lion. Allahu Akbar, only meaning that God, the universal force that gives us all the happiness that we have, that Lord, that Creator, He's greater than everything else. A pleasure to spend the time with you. I hope maybe in a coming series we can take these letters and join them at the beginning, middle, and end of words. How about assembly? You know the letters, alif, you know them, but can you say, I now know how they look when they're written script? It's been a pleasure, friends. I don't know how many of you stayed along for the whole journey, but this has been fantastic from here, and has been amazing over here. So turn my head to you all. It has been amazing with you all. I hope that this opens your horizons and gives you a relationship to the stillness, wholeness, and peacefulness that you've been seeking. From one believer in these letters to another, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Bye bye. What a good teacher. Yeah. More than
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا